Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis for big mega cap stocks. So show your support by hitting that thumbs up button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, and that means a lot to me. Now if you want to get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, my analysis in 3 days of live trading, definitely check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now let's get right into it, guys. So before we get started, I want to show you guys, we got some big data coming out this week. The first one, CPI on Tuesday morning. And then on top of that, we also have PPI coming out on Wednesday morning. And then we also have a whole bunch of Fed speakers speaking this week again, which I think they should be banned from speaking every week. I mean, that just don't make any sense, causing a lot of volatility in the market. And then we got this right after closing on Friday. Moody's cut US outlook to negative from stable. Now, who knows if Magnificent 7 will come down? I mean, so far, it's crazy how everything is moving. So I just wanted to show you guys what's happening next week. And on top of that, we got this right here right after closing on Friday. On Meta, it's up 2.56% and a massive rally here on Meta. And look at this candle right here. Big bullish engulfing candle. And we got the breakout above 326 finally. Now this one, I called it out in my Discord on Wednesday that anybody wants to get in, 316 is your zone right here. You can get 320 calls. As long as you have a stop here on Meta, you can make a ton of money. And if you actually got anything here on Meta, look at this, guys. 320 calls that I called out, now sitting close to 330. So that is insane. And why? Because it was just coming back and retesting 316 as a support. And now we got the breakout above 326. So going into Monday, levels to watch on Meta. Definitely 326 as a support, and then 320 to 321, 5-day moving average right here, and then 316. To the upside, Meta can stay above 326. Then watch out for a move up to this high right here, 52-week high, 330.54, and above that, blue sky, we might be going all the way up to 342, and that's gonna be another insane move. But I would like to see a pullback here on Meta, at least down to 320 if that's possible, going into next week Monday. Now, is this a buy here? Absolutely not. I would not be chasing this move right now. Wait for a pullback, or if you want to short, this would be a nice zone to short right here, but make sure you put a stop here if you short Meta at 330. On Netflix is up 2.78%, and people that are subscribed to my channel, you know exactly what I said before, that Netflix can hold above this blue line 5-day moving average right here. You're going to see the next stop, and that is 450, and I would not be shorting this stock. And look at what happened on Friday, up 2.78%, almost 3%, massive move to the upside. And now Netflix can break 450. Look at this Bollinger Band on top, expanded all the way up to 464.67. That means one thing, 450 breaks easily, you're going to see 470 on Netflix. Now in a pullback, and that's going to be a day trading opportunity. If that happens, watch out for a pullback and the support to hold right here, 437 to 438, 5-day moving average right here. As long as we're above this blue line right here, Netflix can continue this move all the way up to 470, but we need to break 450 right here also. Now this thing actually breaks below 437, 438, then watch out for the support down here, 423, and then 418. So on Tesla, it's up 2.22%, and let me show you guys something here on Tesla that we took on Friday. So this is exactly what I said in my video Thursday, that Tesla gets down to 205, 206, we could see inverse head and shoulder on Tesla, and that could play out, and Tesla can go all the way up to 242 to close the gap on top. And look at this call out And if you match the time right here, 10:29 a.m. exactly, Tesla was trading just below 206, filling the gap. And then I made this call out. I got some calls. And now 210 calls in the money, over the money, Tesla up over 2%. Now all these call outs, this was a swing trade. Daily trade ideas, 3 days of live trading, and any way I can help you learn. All that is available on Patreon. So if you join my Patreon, you get all that for only $35 a month, which is a bargain, guys. So if you want to support the channel, definitely check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. Now also, this is my X account, and if you're on there, definitely give me a follow because I do post a lot of things right here on X. So as you guys saw, Tesla getting down to 205, 206, and this is exactly right in between 205 and 206 where I got in because I was actually right on my computer waiting for Tesla to get down here. And then this thing went back up to 215.38 and now trading close to 215. So next week, Tesla, I would say Tesla needs to get above right here. I would say 220, 219 to 220. 20 SMA and daily 200 SMA. If this thing can break and hold 219 to 220, that's going to be really bullish for Tesla for a move, a bigger move all the way up to 242 to close this massive gap on top from earnings. Now to the downside, we have support down here, 212, and then all the way down here, 200, and that's going to be a critical support on Tesla if we come all the way back down to 200. So next week, guys, I think soon as we get that breakout above 220 here on Tesla, easily you're going to see a move all the way up to 242 to close this gap here on top, or at least halfway there next week, and that is around 230. On Apple stock, it's up 2.32%, and this is massive here on Apple. Now, I said it before, you cannot be surprised by this move. I said it before, Apple can hold 177, 180. What happened? We got 180. Then I said 180 can hold 183. 183. And in my last video, I said Apple now 180 support and 183 looks like we got multiple rejections. So watch out for a pullback. But if this thing actually breaks out and holds 183, watch out for a move up to 190 plus to close this gap on top. And looks like Apple on its way to 190. Now, will there be a pullback? Of course, there will be a pullback. And why? Because it's getting far too overextended to the upside. 186 where upper Bollinger Band is sitting, and the stock is trading above upper Bollinger Band. So that would be a healthy pullback next week if we get a pullback here on Apple down to 183 right here, and that holds as a support. And then this move to the upside can continue all the way up to this gap, 190.69. Now, Apple breaks below 183. That would be concerning for the bulls. This thing can come down even more, down to 180 and then 177. On Amazon stock, it's up 2.11%, and Amazon going all the way up to 143.65 and almost coming up to 146. And that's going to be a big resistance to watch next week. Now, on a pullback, you want to watch 141, or I would say 142, because this 5-day moving average right here will move up going into next week on Monday. So 142 will be a support level to watch. And only if that breaks, there might be some more downside down to 138, 135, and then the gap below 133.57. Google also going up 1.80%, and this was a nice opportunity on Google to buy the dip on Friday. And if you actually caught this dip right here, you made a ton of money. And why? Because risk to reward here on Google was better. And why? Because 130 support, you can just put a stop right below 130, and if you played it, I mean, that is a $3 move to the upside, which is huge on Friday. So Google now trading at 134. If there is a pullback on Monday, you want to watch 130 to 42, and then 130, 128.76, and then the gap below 127.74. Now, anytime you see Google breaking and holding above 135, definitely you're going to see more upside all the way up to this gap 138.75, and I think soon as we break 135, that's going to happen here on Google. On Microsoft, it's up 2.49%. It's getting far too overextended to the upside. Even the RSI now getting extremely overbought. Now also guys, I've been calling it out for last maybe 2 to 3 days that Microsoft holding above 5-day moving average right here. And as long as Microsoft can hold right here, you're going to see a fresh new all-time high. And guess what? We got a fresh new all-time high on Friday. And now this thing is even more overbought. So next week, yes, this thing can push even higher. And where this thing can go? Above 370, watch out for 375.20. Now to the downside, if we get a pullback, watch out for this as a support. Right down here, guys, 366 right here. And if that gives up, then watch out for 362, 5-day moving average right here. And then the gap below, right here, 357.54. And that would be at least a decent pullback if we get that next week on Microsoft down to 357.54 to even 355. Another strong support here on the stock. But if this thing actually pushes higher next week, then watch out for 370 plus and possibly up to another fresh new all-time high, 375 plus. Nvidia also going up close to 3%, and this one finally getting that breakout above 482, and looks like now Nvidia can hold 482. You're going to see a retest of this all-time high 502.66 and possibly hitting a fresh new all-time high, which is insane to think how this thing actually hitting multiple all-time highs in just a matter of couple of months. Now, only if there is a pullback, you want to watch 482 as a support, 471, 467, 5-day moving average right here, and then 460. And once we get below 460, which is a long way down here on Nvidia, then we can talk about more downside, guys. Now, if you're shorting Nvidia, let me tell you guys something. Earnings, we do have earnings from Nvidia, and that is on the 21st of this month, which is not next week, but the following week. So be careful if you're shorting and buying weekly puts on Nvidia, because that is why I think this thing is going up. You know, people are not buying time and they're covering their short, and this thing just going up on a monstrous run to the upside. And there's absolutely no pullback. We saw some pullback before on this big rally, but look at this one here, guys. Straight up without a pullback. I mean, this was a tiny pullback. It was green on the day actually. So I would not call this a pullback. And then on Friday, we saw a breakout above 482. And now, definitely, if this thing can stay above 482, the longer this thing actually stays above 482, you're going to see at least retest of this all-time high, and then possibly a fresh new all-time high on Nvidia. And I know it sounds really crazy, but we gotta go with technicals, and now it's looking extremely bullish above 482. On AMD, it's up 4.49%, and that is a massive weekly breakout on AMD. And looks like if there is a pullback and AMD can hold above 118, as long as AMD is above 118, the next stop 125. And that's gonna be huge, guys. If this thing can hold 118, that is a weekly breakout on AMD. Also, if you look at my screen, I mean, there is nothing up here. Air is thin right up here. There is no volume right up here. So this thing can push definitely even higher. And if that happens, 118 can hold. The next stop, definitely 125. Only if this thing actually gives up 118, then watch out for the support down here, 115, 110, and that's gonna be a critical support to watch on a pullback. And I think we already got a back test of the support 110 right here. So now we could see a pullback down to 115, and that would be a dip buy on AMD. But of course, if you're going long, I would not be chasing this move right up here at 118. I would wait for a pullback at least down to 110 on AMD. Thank you so much for watching, and that's all I have for you guys in this video.